Welcome to our 6th episode of Zombie Talk. Today's episode includes Hall of Famer Rick Barry, Zombies GM and head coach Brian Stasitis, and Zombies shooting guard entering his 2nd season with the team, Terence Thompson. Terence last year averaged 9 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds a game, but shot 45% from 3 and was the 3-point champion in the ECBL Mid-Atlantic All-Star game, beating out his teammate Tyler DeRozier's. It was impressive. Terence, can you tell us something? How did you find out that you were a shooter, and what got you on this path to get into the Zombies?
Wow. I'll give all the credit to my dad. We've definitely worked a lot throughout all the years. Actually, getting to the Zombies was actually something that I didn't think would actually happen. I had no idea Coach Brian was Brian was a coach at my high school, the girls basketball team. So to hear that he was a part of it, and the fact that the tryout was on my birthday was all a great gift. So to find out that I made the team was a real gift. So
that's nice.
It was real nice.
Yeah. So did you play in college or in high school? Like what was that story coming up?
So I started playing basketball in 8th grade in North End Middle School, then made my way to Kaner Tech. Didn't make the varsity team until my sophomore year. And since then I had to gain the confidence and the shot, work on my game to be where I am. I graduated Kaner, ended up going to New England College out in New Hampshire, played 2 seasons there. The 2nd year I got hurt. Ended up making my way back to Connecticut to play for Post University. And then tragically, my mom had passed away. So had to take a few years off of that. And then finally, with everything going on, I made my way to the Zombies. And here we are.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, well, listen, you know what I admire? It just shows you something, that you have a love and a passion for the game, which is really important. I mean, to have gone through all of the things that you went through with the injuries and losing your mom, which is never an easy thing to lose any family member, and having to get away from the game for a few years, and to have the resilience to bounce back from that. So I commend you on that, and admire your perseverance, and glad that you're getting an opportunity to do something. So let's talk a little bit about your 3-point shooting. Just so people understand and realize, 45% is kick-ass free throw. 3-point shooting, folks. I know we had a question for later on. You were going to get to me. I'll answer it right now. Here's the deal. The bare minimum for you to be allowed the freedom to shoot a shot in the team I'm coaching, if you can't shoot 30% or better, you never shoot a 3-point shot unless the clock's running out, okay? I mean, it's unbelievable. There's guys in the NBA making millions of dollars who are shooting in the 20s from threes, especially if it's a wing player. And I've mentioned this before. What the hell are they on your roster for? Get rid of them. They're a liability. If you can't shoot at least 30, and the 30 is the bare minimum, again, because 33% is 50% from twos. So 30 equates to about 44, 45 from twos. You could accept that. But man, when you start getting up to that 45 percentile, that's 45 out of 100 shots if you're making on an average, right? So that's times 3. That's 135 points. That's 60-something percent, folks, from 2-point range.
Yeah.
So that's some serious shooting, and it's changed the game. The game today, you have to be able to score from the 3-point range in order to be able to win in today's game. That's just the reality of it. So, Terence, obviously you bring something to the table I'm sure the coach is thrilled with, because you spread the floor, move, get yourself open. I don't know. Are you more of a spot up 3-point shooter, or can you shoot it off the move as well?
I could do a little of both. Been working on the shot for a while, so pretty good with it.
No, 45% is awesome. That's off the freaking charts.
He could come down the court and do it though. He's not a set shooter. Yeah, he's breaking. He's trying to break a press. He's putting. He does. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a lot of confidence in off the dribble. It's not set easy shots.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, to me, the best time to shoot a 3-point shot, other than if you're kicking, penetrating and kicking for a spot open 3, is in transition 3-on-2. If you can't get the pass to a teammate for a dunk, Shit, pull up and shoot the three. You got a better chance of getting an offensive rebound than they do. You got two guys backing up and you got three guys moving forward. Shoot the ball and go after the rebound. I think that's the ideal time to shoot a 3-point shot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Coach, what do you
And
think?
one of the things, Rick,
Hey, it doesn't matter what I think.
I'm going to jump in real quick.
What do you think, Coach?
No, and Terrence is one of those guys. I mean, you know, we had Tyler DeRozier's on a couple weeks ago. You know, and he's a guy that can really shoot it. But you know, Terrence, you know, he's a guy that you know I've seen actually grow. You know, from his freshman year of high school through you know up to where he is now. And like you said, Rick, like he's really is one of those guys where you know he has a lot of range, but you know he's definitely improving as far as being able to shoot the ball off the dribble more. You know, and that's a big thing, as you know, Rick, when you can stretch out defenses and guys really have to respect that, you know, that opens up a whole nother part of your game. Cause now, you know, guys can't chase, they got to try to get above screens and they can't run below them because I'll tell you what, Terrence is one of those guys that if you try to cheat him and go below a screen, he's going to really make a guy pay defensively. So he definitely has that in his game. And, you know, this year we're definitely looking to use Terrence more, you know, now that he has some experience. You know, he's kind of able to see the pace of the game, and especially like you said, Rick, the way the game's played now with kind of the up and down pace, and you know, it's played a lot more on the perimeter. Terrence is definitely a guy that you know is going to help us a lot more this season. You know, where he helped us last year in a big role, but this year he's going to have an even bigger role. But he definitely is a guy that we can, you know, that can really light it up when he gets going.
Well, that's exciting to know. I mean, you got to have that in today's game to be able to do. You got to spread the floor out. And I think one of the big things about it is, may as well talk about it now, is that there's a big difference in the game between somebody who's a shooter and a scorer. You know, shooters can be shut down. Scorers can't. And that's why, Terrence, the big thing is you got to be able to put the ball on the floor. You got to be able to drive to the basket. You got to go get an offensive rebound. You got to get out on the fast break. Now you become a scorer. Scorers are impossible to shut down. I hear these guys on TV all the time. I may have said it before and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it to the day I die. You cannot shut down a freaking scorer. But they're saying, oh, he's a lockdown defender. Well, no, he's only a lockdown defender possibly if he's playing against a shooter. You know, because I never was locked down once. I never anybody locked me down. I mean, there's no way. I got too many ways to beat you. And so, you know, that's the way you have to approach the game and do that. And so, but that's the great thing about guys like Steph. And Clay is getting it. In fact, the thing about Clay, we'll bring him up right now, Thompson. And it's just so much great to see him back and come out. I mean, he pushed it a little bit too much. He wasn't getting his feet set. He was missing his threes. And he finally got his feet set. He knocked that first one in, and then he got more confidence. But I was shocked that he was playing so aggressively and attacking. That's not his game. He was just starting to get that before he got hurt 2 years ago. But that's not what his game was all about. His game was spot up, shooting, move, get open, fire. And so I was really happy to see that. And then getting that dunk, knowing myself, having gone through knee operations before they had arthroscopic surgery, not knowing what the hell, whether my knee was going to give out again, having had it happen 2 different times in the same knee, and it was cartilage, and had to have a major operation. I had a breakaway on one thing, and I went up to dunk in an overtime game, and I jumped. I said, oh my God, my knee is okay, because I got up higher than I ever thought I would get up. And I'm sure for Clay, that was probably a big thing. He even said, I didn't expect to get a dunk. But for him to have done that and know that his Achilles and his knee had no problem, I think that was a huge breakthrough for him. And hopefully he's going to stay healthy. But it was really fun to see. But I was mentioning now he's becoming that way as far as becoming a scorer as opposed to just a shooter. And Steph is that way. Steph is a scorer, an unbelievable shooter, and a scorer who can shoot the mid-range, who can get to the basket, and who also can shoot the free throw. So when you have all of that working for you, you become an impossible person to defend.
And he's not afraid to cut back door. That's something about Steph. He understands off-ball play. There's a lot of stars that just sit on the top of the three-point line and wait for the ball back. You know, they're just waiting for that game. But Curry, he's working, running off screens. I love the way Curry plays, man. I can't say enough good things.
Yeah, well, that's the Warriors game, though. It's pass, move, cut, create opportunities. As my father had told me years ago, of course, when we do these talks, I may have be repeating myself. The more decisions you force the defense to make, the more the likelihood they're going to make a mistake. And so if you're doing that, you're playing that type of basketball, there's multiple decisions that have to be made by the defense. And if they don't communicate properly, opportunities are going to present themselves. And the play that you were trying to run perhaps is not going to actually come to its fruition because something else is going to happen because of the mistakes that they make defensively.
Understood. And you were talking about his feet set. So what are the fundamentals for you for good shooting? Because clearly a little bit of the footwork, but what goes into the whole body of it?
Well, I mean, it starts from the ground up. I mean, knees bent. You got to use your legs because you get your legs into the shot. It just makes it easier. Otherwise, you're up here and you're using too much of your arm, and it just helps you to flow into the shot. But certainly, you have to have a good base to start from. But then it comes down to just the fundamentals. There's 5 basic fundamentals in shooting that are critical to do it if you want to be a consistent shooter. And if you watch anybody play in any game when you're watching, for those of you who are fans of the game, NBA, wherever it is, if a player is missing left and right, he's not a great shooter. Great shooters rarely miss left and right. Because if you're missing left and right, you have a major flaw in your shot and one of the fundamentals that are there. I mean, it's basically your hand under the ball properly. You have to have then your wrist is up. You got to have your wrist cocked back parallel to the floor. Mm-hmm. Then you're shooting the ball. Then the ball rolls up with your hand. You follow up and you follow through. So there's 5 things: hand under the ball. Then you turn it over. Elbows pointing straight down to the floor. You can never have your elbow out. It's impossible to be a great shooter. LeBron James had that issue when he first came into the league. His elbow was way the hell out here. You can't possibly be a good shooter because when you extend your arm, you're going across the path of the basket. Some days you miss left, some days you miss right. Some days you're letting it go at the right time and it's going in. Can't be consistent. So that's a critical. And then again, here's one of the key elements in shooting for those people listening and care about it. 2-letter word, critical difference between these 2-letter words. You never shoot the ball at the basket. That's a flat shot. You have to shoot the ball up to the basket. That gives you arc on the ball, and the arc kind of opens the basket. Probably one of the guys, one of the greatest shooters of shooting it up is Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, you get that big rainbow thing up there and coming back down. It opens up the basket. You have a softer shot coming down. And then, of course, it's the follow through. You can't shoot and then quit. Always have to follow through. I mean, when I talk about, give lectures on shooting, I mean, tell me a sport. I mean, even if you played marbles, I mean, I know the kids play marbles nowadays. I used to play marbles growing up, and you would shoot marbles and stuff. Well, you always have to follow through. What sport do you know of? Terence, do you know of a sport where you play and you never follow through and finish what it is that you're doing? I mean, in baseball, you got to swing through the ball, right? Golf, same way. Otherwise you're sticking it in the ground and chunking it. Whatever, tennis, right? Hit, follow through. Basketball, shoot, follow through. Pitching a baseball, throw it, follow through. And that's a critical element in shooting, is to have a really nice follow through and feel that ball coming off your fingertips. I think one of the biggest problems I have is that your thumb and your elbow are your 2 biggest problems in shooting the basketball. If your elbow's out, it's impossible to shoot it straight. And if you get your thumb in the thing, you can also then, that'll help you to get your elbow out. You don't have to cock your wrist if you have a big hand, and you don't get a great follow through. The big thing about this touch in shooting, I mean, when I had that ball and I'm back here, I'm shooting up. So that ball is now rolling up off my hand, off my fingers. And when I follow through, I can feel that ball coming off my fingertips. And I literally can tell you when I was shooting well, and I wasn't a great shooter. I was a good shooter, not a great shooter. I was a great scorer. I could tell when that ball came off my fingers if it was going in or not. And I'm sure, Terence, you probably have the same feeling, right? You probably, how many shots are you taking where it leaves your hand? You say, oh, that sucker's good, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Almost every shot, but.
Well, yeah, no, here's the thing. Well, you got to think you're going to make every shot that you take. Otherwise, you shouldn't be taking it, right? Unless it's at the end of a quarter or whatever it may be, and the clock's running off. I mean, if you're shooting the basketball, you've got to be thinking that sucker's going in.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So there it is. I just gave you my almost my whole shooting.
So Terence, I'm gonna ask you a couple little rapid fire questions. You ready for them?
Yeah.
All right. So favorite pregame meal? Do you have a ritual?
It's kind of like everybody. Well, Ray Allen's, I believe. So peanut butter and jelly, maybe a Gatorade or maybe Gatorade Frost to be
Gatorade
exact.
Frost?
Then,
okay.
Yeah, Gatorade Frost, and then maybe a Reese's.
All right.
Yeah, depending on
Like a very healthy pregame meal,
right?
Yeah.
The Reese's. It's like what's his name? Marshawn Lynch with the Skittles. You
Yeah,
know,
where's the carbo load? Where's the carbo load? I mean, we used to have a steak and baked potato and green beans. That was like the standard thing for us. And then we found out years later it was the worst possible thing you could be eating before you put it in the game. And so it's all supposed to be now about the carbo load. I mean, there's so much information out there now as far as eating properly. And it's amazing. I wish I could be playing today and have all of the stuff available that's available to players today with the dietitian stuff, the proper eating, the workout opportunities. Terence, just so you know, we never, ever did I have anything where we had a strength coach or did any lifting, nothing, zero, absolutely zero. Zero.
So everything was on your own, basically, just all natural.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. I looked at some pictures of myself when I was a rookie in my second year or something and everything, and I'm kind of cut and doing it. I say, well, how the hell did I get that? I didn't lift weights. I mean, I just do some push-ups or something like that, but I didn't do anything. So I just know that if I was playing today, I'd be faster, stronger, quicker, more endurance, jump higher. It'd be ridiculous how much better I would be today if I had all of this available to me. And the players should take advantage of it. You know, yeah.
You will look like a little shorter Giannis. Is that what you're saying, Rick?
Yeah, I was good cut. I mean, I was actually pretty damn cut as it was. I would have been even like my son Canyon when he went off and he went to. They finally got him. He was a skinny little thing. All my boys were skinny like me coming up and late developers, and so when he came back and he got involved in the program, they started putting the weight thing. I came up and go and give him a hug and stuff. And I go, what the heck? I mean, he's got all these muscles back here and his arms are freaking huge. I mean, it's like he was like a whole transformation. It was unbelievable. It's like the Transformer or something. It was pretty cool. So when did you get in? When you were at school? I'm sure they probably had lifting programs, right, Terence?
Yeah. We would have to get in the gym around 5 in the morning, and then that would be the morning workouts. And right after, depending on who has classes, around 2, 3 o'clock, we'll get back in. And yeah, that's basically our routine Monday through Saturday, depending on if we have a game or not. So we were in there pretty.
Oh my God, am I glad I didn't go to your school that I had to get up. No way. I mean, I'm not I get up in the morning early for 3 things. Number 1, to catch an airplane. Number 2, number 2 would be to now to go and play pickleball. That's it. I mean, I'm not getting up early or go fishing. Those are the 3 things that I would get up early for. I mean, other than that, I'm not rising at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. That's not happening.
Yeah,
you earned that though, Rick. You earned that. You earned that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm at the point now, I'm at the age and everything right now where I don't really give a crap about a lot of things that I used to care about.
Well, that leads me to my next question. I was gonna save it for Terence, but I'll ask for both of you. Rick, what's your favorite snack? Since you're not liking stuff, what do you still love to eat? What do you still have to munch on?
No, well, listen, he's the guest on the show and doing it, so I'm gonna let Terence go first. I'm gonna go let age before beauty.
All right, Terence. Right. What's your favorite snack other than the Reese's cups, or is it that?
Other than Reese's, I will have to say maybe some cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
Cinnamon rolls.
Oh my God, you're going from bad to worse.
Yeah.
I Cinnabon at Holyoke Mall.
It all burns. It burns out quick since I run.
Well, when you're young, you can get away with that, man, and you're burning those calories. You get a little older and start eating that stuff, you're gonna blow up like a blimp.
Yeah, I have to get the little bites, cut it in half or something.
You have now. Let me ask you this, because if I have sweets, it's really crazy. If I have something sweet, and I love desserts and stuff, but if I have sweets, I have to have a cold glass of skim milk. I mean, it's like this. I have this craving for cold milk. Yet I have never in my life can I ever remember ever just pouring a glass of milk and drinking milk to drink milk. That's almost revolting to me, but I can have a big giant glass of milk if I'm having a Cinnabon or something, or peanut butter, jelly and banana. I mean, I can guzzle down that milk and I have to have it. It's really crazy. It's always been that way for me. But now as far as my snack is concerned, pretty simple. My mother got me hooked on potato chip dip. I used to Philadelphia cream cheese. I've switched and got the less fat cream cheese that I use now. That and some good ruffled potato chips, mix it up with garlic and all, and some skim milk and all, and make a dip out of it. And I absolutely love that. That's my most favorite snack. Sit down, watch a good movie or a good TV show or something, And I'm as happy as a pig in slop. I told my wife, honey, and I'm getting old and stuff. And if I really can't do much, you don't have to stick me to old folks home. Just put me in my recliner chair and give me potato chip dip with my caffeine-free diet Pepsi, and I'll be fine. And you don't have to worry about me.
There you go. What are you watching on TV while you're there with eating your chips and dip?
Oh, I love movies. I love action movies. I love movies where the bad guys get the shit kicked out of them. Excuse my language, but because I have no use for bad people in this world, and so I love it when they get their comeuppance, and I love that. But I love good stories. A lot of shows. My wife and I watch a lot of shows. I've just been watching Yellowstone. That's a great series. I don't know if you've not watched Yellowstone with Kevin Costner. Awesome.
No,
if you haven't watched it,
heard of it,
highly recommend it. Then another one, Coach, you might really like is what the heck is the guy's name? Ted Lasso. It's about a football coach. Yeah, it's about a football coach from a little small school that gets hired to come and coach a Premier League soccer team in England. It's great.
I heard. I haven't gotten into it yet, but everybody keeps telling me, they're like, you would love this one. So I just gotta have time to sit down and get into it, because I'm the type, when you start watching shows like that, I don't want to watch one episode. Like, I want to be able to watch 2 or 3 of them.
Or more.
I don't want to get teased too much and just watch one.
I know. It's like you binge. You can't, when you get a good show and stuff. That's what I do. I've done that a lot. But I love good stories, and there's been a lot of great series that are out there, and not too hard to please. I used to do a lot of reading, and but when I would travel and stuff, because they didn't have all of the technological things that you can have now, where you have Netflix and you have the movies on planes. So you read. Yeah. But I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I enjoy sitting and watching more than I do the reading.
Yeah, I'd take a movie over a book every time, especially on a plane.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: if you read the books, like when I used to read a lot and stuff, and so then the movies come out on the books, well, it would ruin the movie because I already know what was happening.
Yeah.
Like The Godfather. I don't know if Terence even watched The Godfather. Man, The Godfather with the horse's head in the bed. I mean, it ruined the whole thing for me because I knew what was supposed to happen.
You read The Godfather. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, see, reading it. True.
Yeah, I got to catch up on all those. I never watched The Godfather, so.
Oh, you should. There's a great series. You should definitely watch it. I think you would enjoy it. I think you would enjoy that. That was good. That was a good series of movies. Very good. Al Pacino and Marlon Brando and all the other people who were in that. It was very well done. And then I was always a big space guy, so for me, I mean, watching the Raiders of the Lost Ark and all the stuff with that, I just loved all of that stuff, and I loved the space stuff. Certainly with Return of the Jedi and all the other things. So those are very entertaining to me. We have some amazing stuff now, which when I was growing up, parents, you guys, they couldn't make movies like that back then. They didn't have the technology to do those movies. So it's interesting, kind of like basketball in a way. I mean, things evolve and things change. Basketball is not the same game today that it was when I was brought up and was playing. Hell, if I took some of the shots that Steph Curry was taking, I'd be on the bench next to my father when I was a kid. He would have yanked me out of the game so quick, it'd have been ridiculous, whether it went in or not. That's a bad shot. Shouldn't be taking that. I said, yeah, but it's going in, Dad.
No, wouldn't expect you like in Star Wars. What, Terence? What's something we wouldn't expect? Looking at you, tell me something about yourself.
Just anything random, or
like some random fact, like Rick, like in Star Wars.
That's a random fact.
Something about you that even your friends and most people don't really know. Not anything that you're going to be embarrassed by, obviously, but just.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of those, but I have been interested in reading a lot lately. I'm reading this book called Think Like a Monk right now. Basically trying to work on just getting routines together for just like meditating, doing yoga, things like that.
Okay.
Just to clear the mind, work on breathing and things like that. So
you read stuff that's like self-help stuff, something to help
self-help, awareness.
That's good.
Yeah.
You should always be trying to get better in everything in life. You should never be satisfied with what you're doing. I'm a perfectionist like my father was. But you just have to learn as you go. You have to learn not to be so hard on yourself when things don't work that way, because the reality of it is that you're never going to be perfect. Okay. So you're striving to do something that's impossible to actually attain. But if you're not too hard on yourself, it's okay, because you just be more demanding of yourself to go. I want to get better at what I'm doing. Like in my case, I was the best free throw shooter in the game. I was better at the end of my career than I was at the beginning. I wasn't satisfied with being really good. I wanted to be great at it. And I kept working and working. And I shot my best free throw percentages the last 2 seasons I played, and changed my technique my last 6 years, which the percentage for that is probably better than anybody had, which is over 92%. And I'm proud to brag about it, because, again, it's the only part of the game you can be selfish and help your team.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, I don't know though. I saw the stats about what your son was shooting from the free throw line.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
96%.
96%.
96%. Canyon's just, he's deadly from the free throw line.
Yeah, he's killing. He's doing great. I mean, he's the only. Well, my son Scooter could do it really well, and he said to me, "Oh, Dad, it's too hard being your son without having to shoot underhanded free throws." I said, "Well, that may be true, but if you're not doing it as well as you could possibly doing it by shooting underhanded, then you're doing yourself and your team a disservice." And my son Brent did it, and he actually had the highest percentage he ever had when he shot underhanded at Oregon State. For some reason, I think he got mad at me or whatever. He stopped doing it, which was foolish, I thought. But yeah, it's great. And so, but Canyon was the one that was really interested in wanting to do it. And he shot 100% last year in the shortened G League season. So that's why and this year, I guess he's only missed one. So he's shooting 96 or something percent from over the last 2 seasons.
Rick, I don't know if I ever asked you, whatever got you, I don't know, Cam, did we ever ask him what got you into shooting the free throws underhand?
Yeah, it's my father, semi-pro player and coach. And that's the way guys shot 2-hand set shots and underhand.
And he just thought,
so,
okay.
And he said to me, he said, "Son," he said, "you should try underhanded." I said, "Dad, I can't do that because girls are shooting the way everybody make fun of me." He said, "Son, they can't make fun of you if you're making them." And I always remember that. And thank God, I'm so happy he was relentless about saying it to me, "Son, you can be better. You could be better. You need to try this." And so I just did it to get him off my back. He was driving me nuts. And so I went out and I spent the summer working on it. And I don't know, it was before my junior or senior year. And I switched over. And that's the first year that I shot over 80%, and then just kept getting better and better and better. And I just wish I had been smart enough to change the technique earlier in my career. I mean, I was shooting over 10 free throws a game early in my career. And with that technique, you can get on a great run. You're in a groove. You're doing well. I mean, like I said, I really missed my last 2 years. I missed 10 in one season and 9 in another, the whole season. Andre Drummond missed 23 in one game a couple of years ago.
Jeez, that's rough.
He's a Connecticut guy too.
No, I would probably be dead right now, because I probably would have slit my wrist after that performance.
Yeah, 23 misses.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh,
Terence, you played against
Terence,
him.
tell us a little bit about what's happening with the team here. I mean, let's hear a little bit about what's going on. And Coach, what's the deal? What's the practice schedule? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so we we're pretty much into our preseason stuff now, getting the guys together, at least once a week now. We were in the gym the other night. Terence had to leave a couple minutes early, but I had to throw the guys out. We were in the gym. We started at about 9:15. Him at about 12:05. Guys just wanted to keep going, which is good. So we have a good group. Right now we're still at about 18 or 19 guys. Going to be cutting it down probably after this Friday. Get it down to around the 16 we're looking at for the roster. We just have a pretty good commitment from 6'10" guy. Played, he played Division I ball, Memphis, and then URI, and then season in the G League. He was overseas for about 3 or 4 years, and then had an injury kind of right around the COVID time. So he's, working his way back into, getting another opportunity. Guys like Terence and, Tyler DeRozier's actually, who we had on about a month or so ago. He's recovering from an injury, tore a ligament. So he should be coming back fully about middle of April. So he might miss the first 4 or 5 games of the season. Guys like Robbie Jones, Kevin McLaughlin, the 6'11" guy we had on a couple weeks ago. He's, so just trying to get, those returning guys back in, getting them to mix with the newer guys. We definitely have a good group of kind of newer, younger guys, a couple good guys, his age, 20, 25 years old, that, are coming in, they're hungry, they're ready to go. And just like everybody else, trying to get that opportunity to be able to play at a high level. So that's where we kind of are now, just piecing the finishing touches on the roster of, obviously you always need some size. You always need guys that could score the basketball. So that's kind of where we are now as far as finishing up the roster. But we definitely have had consistently 18 to 20 guys in the gym, over the last couple of weeks. So it's really a positive start as far as that. Guys are really committed and getting in the gym and putting in the work. So that's what we're trying to do now. So
Terence, how are you feeling about what's going on in your game right at this point?
Yeah, feeling great, feeling ready to help the team as much as I can and have a bigger impact on the team more than last year. Been really in the gym a lot, trying to work on things that I think would be able to not just help me, but help my teammates out in the games ahead. I know there's a few things that me and Coach Brian have talked about that I need to do. So just really trying to perfect my craft and at the same time add to it. I want to be more than just a 3-point shooter. But yeah, just I feel really good. I feel good where my shot is right now, even though hopefully coach will let me pull from half court one time. But
I think that's gonna happen.
But yeah, I feel really good right now, and I'm excited to get the season started.
Great. Well, I look forward to meeting you when I'm out there. The latter part of March, I'll be out there, and looking forward to that as well. So, wish you all the best. Just keep with the attitude you have, and keep working at it. Never be satisfied, and that's a great way to approach it. What would you say is what's your strength defensively? Your best strength defensively, and what's your best, other than the 3-point shot, which you've talked a lot about, is the best other part of your offense?
My best strength defensively, I get in you. I'm quick on my feet. I can move, slide. I'm very vocal on the defensive end, even though I'm not vocal outside of basketball, really. But
that's a good thing. That's a
yeah.
very good thing, because one of the biggest problems of teams, if teams would talk more on defense, they would improve their defensive performance tremendously, because it's just like everything in life. It's lack of communication that causes so many issues and problems. The same thing on the basketball court, screen left, screen right. I got you, switch, whatever. I mean, the more talking you do, plus the fact that drives the other team nuts. I used to hate playing against team where the guys all talked and everything, because you say, oh my God, these guys are freaking fanatical. I mean, it's crazy. Do that. I mean, hopefully it'll rub off on some of your teammates as well. And I'll tell you one thing, those are all great things you're talking about individually. I think Coach will agree with me on this. Become a student of team defense. You're become a great team defender. It's going to be more valuable to your team than you as an individual defender, because as good as you may be individually, I'm going to beat you sometimes. Okay. Because again, you're on the defense. You get a good offensive player, he's going to beat you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're going to get beaten. And that's part of the game. But if everybody's worried about their man and playing the great individual defense, the other team's going to get a whole bunch of dunks and easy baskets. And so team defense is the way. Never let that team get to the basket uncontested. Team defense is what you want to really focus on, becoming a great team defender. And then if you've got the individual talents, you become a valuable asset, because now you can make a guy work harder because you're tough defensively individually, but you always want to be there for your team.
Help the helper. That's what my coach used to always say. Help the helper on, overcommitting on a shot. And you got to switch, whatever. Always help the helper when
never allow the other team to have a totally uncontested shot, regardless of what it is. Somebody should be making an effort to get out and see him coming or whatever it is. You don't ever give up uncontested shots if at all possible. Yeah,
fast break everything.
Yep, that's it.
And the second part. Besides my shooting, I'm a underrated facilitator. I could get into the paint and kick out. My vision hasn't been there. Coach Brian knows I play a lot with one contact, but I've been having 2 contacts for the most part this year. So yeah, that's
I hope you get that contact thing in order. Hey guys, the timer is wrapping up. I think it's gonna cut out on our thing. So I just want to say,
hey, Terence, pleasure to talk to you. I hope everybody's a great start to 2022. Look forward to seeing you when I'm out there in March, but we'll probably talk before then.
For sure. Appreciate meeting you too. It's an honor.
All right. Thanks, Terence. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Coach Brian.
Thanks,
see you guys next time on Zombie Talk.